So we're going to move on. I guess what do we want to look at next?
Well, might as well. The line.
The line. Oh, the line.
They give you a whopping 110 yards of 8-pound test.
Well, that might tie enough. That might tie your hooks.
That's how it hooks.
So, and actually, that's probably why they give it to you, is actually to tie your hooks.
Yeah.
It is 8-pound test, which I say it's probably about right for normal. I think they use about 20.
Yeah, for pre-tied.
For
Pre-tied
pre-tied
is much
hooks,
heavier,
it's
but
about 20. But 8 will do.
8 will do,
Yeah.
and you know.
I'm not going to go through a tying episode at this point
right
in time.
now.
I mean, actually, if you watch our very first fishing episode, we showed you how to tie a hook, a swivel onto it. It's the same process to tie this onto a hook directly. Yeah. It is a 10 twister knot.
10 twist.
And it's on the back of this box.
Is the 10 twist on here?
Yeah, it is. Yep. It's on there.
So I think they actually have a different name
there is a
arbor knot or something like that.
Yeah, there's a particular name for it. We just always called it a 10 twist knot.
At a different time, I'll show you. I do it even easier.
Yes.
I do a kid's knot.
And the loop knot works really good.
It works, and it's great for kids. It really is.
It's fast and easy.
And I still use it. I'm a simple guy.
I've done it a lot. I like using a 10 twister. I think just because it's a challenge. Because everything I'm like, I gotta thread the needle. But this is just your standard quality monofilament line, good for tying hooks. So it's good to have on board.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next. Actually, we're going to talk about more about this here in a couple of seconds of why we're only using this for tying hooks. I don't want to get into the rods just yet. So.
Oh, there is this.
Oh yeah, that is a line cutter, and you see it just clips it right off. Makes it nice.
It's nice. If you don't buy this kit, fingernail clippers work.
Yeah.
Knife. Just be careful.
Yeah. If you're using a knife, don't let the kid use a knife. Whatever.
Don't use your teeth.
What Mom always said. Still using my dang teeth. Anyway.
What do you want to do
There's
next?
swivels, because I got swivels over here.
Okay.
And we got the different types of swivels. So these swivels,
I don't think they're different sizes.
No, they're not. And I don't think they even put the size on here. But I can tell you what, those are like a number.
They're like a number. I bet you they're almost a number 1.
They gotta be. Okay, so all right, so this is the swivels that came in the kit. And on the back of the swivels, guess what?
How to tie it.
There's that knot again. And I think I showed you that on the original video. So these are swivels that came in the kit. Now again, if you're using these big old hooks, well, maybe you want to use a swivel this big. This is a number 12 swivel, a size 12 swivel. This is probably more the size that, probably the most common size that I would use.
Yeah, especially
that's pretty close.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most common that I would use, and it's worth just buying. Again, if you bought this kit, you're going out. This will get you by. But spend, what was the swivels? Swivels, interlock swivel, 94 cents.
94 cents.
Yeah.
Spend the dollar.
Yeah. 94 cents for a pack of, I don't know how many, 12 of those. So, but now there's a third swivel, pack of swivels I got here. We call them swivels, or not swivels, or swivelless. We say swivelless swivels.
Yeah.
They're actually called dual lock snaps. That's what they're called. But we call them swivelless swivels because they don't swivel, but they do the same dang thing. They attach one line to the other with general ease.
And I think when they first came out, they called them crankbait swivels.
Yeah, because
that's why we still call them swivels, because they were really small and they had less effect on the crankbait instead of tying a crankbait on. Because a regular swivel with a crankbait, especially those big gold ones, your crankbait ain't gonna work.
No, and a lot of times these are great because if you're using like spinners and stuff like that, these don't.
They're so lightweight. They don't get in the way.
They don't get in the way. They don't cause reverse actions and stuff. It's interesting. This is actually a size 1 of these. I normally use a little bit smaller one.
Yeah, I actually prefer the small one.
Yeah, this will work. This is good just for bass fishing and stuff, and this will work for anything. But I would prefer like the next size down, typically. Those were the interlocks. Were $1.36 for that pack. And that's a pack of 10. So that's not terrible.
No.
And these, I highly recommend those. I think these are one of the better things to get.
I think so.
I love them.
The big things that I would say is those, and these floats are
Yeah,
probably the top two,
Top two.
followed by the hooks, because
Yeah.
you know you don't want to spend all afternoon tying hooks on.
No. So since we're going through stuff here, we're going to look at what's that one there?
This is the jig heads. We
Jig
got
heads
jig heads, and we
and
got weights.
Okay, so they got weights. Let's look at the weights because
We got split shot and
so this is actually good.
And barrel weight.
Yeah, this is actually good. It comes with barrel weights and split shot. Now, problem that you have here with these is that it's only one size split shot. I don't even know what size that is. That's
I have no idea anymore.
I don't even remember size. I don't even know how our split shots anymore.
They give them a number.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, or whatever. But anyway, so these are all the same size. Which, all right, if you're just trying to get your bait down and
Okay.
you got a good bobber, one of those is probably fine. A lot of times though, I like a little bit smaller. So Gabriel brought this out. We couldn't, believe it or not, we couldn't find split shot
The multi-pack.
multi-pack at Walmart. They were
Sold
completely
out. Well, they were
gone.
sold out of their single packs too.
Yeah,
even.
yeah. Like I don't know if people were buying it and melting down lead trying to make gold or something. I don't know, but this pack here, this is what we normally see. Like it has a selected size, and huh?
Is that eagle claw too?
Is it?
I saw an eagle. Yes, it is.
It's eagle claw. It's eagle claw.
Not intentional.
Not intentional. Not intentional. They are not a sponsor, but they do make great stuff.
Actually, it's funny, I didn't even buy those. I found those laying on the rocks at Lake Mead when me and Austin first went out fishing.
Nice.
They were just laying there, brand new pack. I've not even opened yet. They were just chilling.
That's surprised the pack I left there 2 years ago. No, I'm just kidding.
No, terrible.
Normally, a pack like this, if I remember correctly, a smaller one. Then these do come in different sizes.
Yeah.
This is probably like maybe $3 at the most, I would think.
Yeah. How did I get the one silver one out of that batch?
So when you threw in there.
Yeah. So.
They do make bigger ones. I've got a larger multi, which has a much larger selection in it. I think I paid like $4.50 for that a couple years ago. So I would highly suggest that the multi-pack. It's just a good investment. Because depending on where you're fishing, maybe you need the heavyweight, maybe you need the big split shot.
So this split shot here, that one, that's the same size that's in this pack right here. And then there's that one. This multi-pack's actually missing one. There's actually a size in between those two. And then there's this one here. And believe it or not, there's actually smaller ones than that. A lot of that is used for trout fishing and fly fishing. So, you know, and again, it's going to be about what you're fishing, where you're fishing, how you're fishing, what size split shot you're going to use. Obviously, the more weight you have on, the further you can cast, but if you got too much weight on, you sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, if that's your intent, no problem. But, you know.
I wouldn't suggest that.
No. I very rarely use split shot, especially if I'm bobber fishing.
Yeah. I use it on the bobber only to keep the bait down at a specific depth.
Yeah.
So when I know like the crappie are running at like 10 foot and I set the foot at 7, I want to keep the bait at 7.
Yeah.
I'll put a split shot on.
Yeah,
But other than that, no, not really.
No, I mean, you know, I'm trying to think. Like, I very rarely do. Especially if I'm running live minnows. I just like that live action.
Want to let them move. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and with live minnows, yeah, if you weight them down, they die faster. Just FYI. So these torpedo weights.
They actually have it on the back, the setup for the Carolina rig.
Oh, okay.
For the torpedo weight.
Okay, so there you go. You got the Carolina rigged torpedo weight setup. So
That's a commitment.
yeah.
Once you put that weight on, you got to cut your line to get it back off.
So I've done versions, I would say, of the Carolina rig. I've done slides.
Yeah, I've done the Carolina rig. Mainly I've done it for trout and lakes.
Right.
With power bait, and you let the power bait pull it up off the bottom because you use a floating power bait.
Yeah, because they use like the glass or plastic beads and stuff, and I don't use them personally. I don't do that, but I've done a version of this. It's very similar. It's what's the big fat round?
Teardrop.
Yeah, the teardrop style weight.
Yeah, I don't know what the I just call it
what the
teardrop.
fancy drop name is. But I use those a lot of times. What I'll do is I'll get like a 30-inch piece of braid and put a swivel on. Well, I'll put my slide on, put my swivel on, and then I have like a 30-inch piece of braid wire out with a hook on it. That way, when I throw that bad boy out, that it can just float up off the bottom. And it's
kind of the same thing as
it's very similar.
I mean, with the Carolina rig, of course, they're showing here the artificial bait. You know, so and the reason they use the glass bead, which they don't even give you one. They tell you to use one, but there's nothing in the kit for it.
No glass beads.
Is actually the clicking sound.
Yeah.
So as you pull it, the weight hits the bead and clicks.
Yeah.
But there's other reasons for uses for that weight.
Yeah.
But if you're not fishing the bottom, I wouldn't bother with it.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Okay, so
what I will use occasionally, which is a Mr. Twister.
A Mr. Twister. So this is probably like the most notorious jig head setup you'll ever see. Is called the Mr. Twister. It's basically the brand name was the of
the soft bait was Mr. Twister.
Was Mr. Twister.
Put it on a little jig head.
Yep.
Tie that on your line.